What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is a show about fatherhood, manhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And I'm sure we'll mix in some helpful real estate advice every now and again. Man, life can be tough, and we can go through some stuff and struggle at times. So if you're someone out there going through one of these things that we're talking about, this is the show for you.
Perfect.
A little bit better?
That was perfect.
All right. Working on it. It's
was,
work in progress.
That was great. That was perfect.
Well, anyway, buddy, how are you doing? How's
Good.
What's been going on? I know you've been working your ass off at the gym. I'm proud of you. Pat joined the CrossFit gym that I belong to, and we had Rachel, the owner, on a couple episodes ago, and she twisted his arm enough to get him to join. So
and then kicked my ass in the gym.
yeah.
It's awesome. Like I said, it was those preconceived notions that you have. That's not what it is. And so, she ran me through the fundamentals. So a lot of the stuff, having played baseball and done powerlifting and things like that, I already had some of the fundamentals done. So it made it a little bit easier and quicker to work through some of the stuff. But, once we started getting into some of the gymnastics side of things, we spent the day hanging from a pull-up bar and my lats and my grip. And
dude, you're a big dude. Like that's something that I've that stuff will just naturally come easier to me than it does to you, just because I'm literally 100 pounds lighter than you. So like if I go put 100-pound backpack on and try to do some pull-ups or some toes to bar or some muscle ups or something, like I am not going to be able to do it. So it was great. We got to the kipping, like not full pull-ups, but doing the swings and getting that movement down and, learning the correct adjustments with the body and how it needs to be positioned for it to be effective. And then once we started, like I've done snatches, but with barbells, a lot of the stuff that I did, especially for baseball, it was more dumbbell stuff than barbell stuff, just because of range of motion and things like that. So learning barbell snatches and like with front squats, it was all dumbbells just because of the wrist and the strain and stuff like that. So, learning the techniques, it was great. I'm excited. Dude, it's awesome. I love it there. It's just, man, you're just guaranteed to go in there and get a fucking hard workout every single time. Like today, even driving to the gym before I got there. So I did the 9 o'clock class, and Pat was showing up for his last session with the coach there at about 10:30. So I was just kind of wrapping up and sitting around bullshitting. And the workout we did this morning, it was just brutal. I'm like thinking about it all morning, like kind of like, fuck, I got to go do this. Like I got to go do all these thrusters and chest to bar pull-ups and like,
but once you complete it, you feel like you can complete
when
anything.
I was done, I'm like, fucking thank God. And like, now I'm like, and no matter what I do for the rest of the day, nothing was going to be harder than that.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing too, with these fundamentals is like, we were going through learning the basic movements, but then she throws a workout there at the end. And it's like with the fundamentals that we just practiced, today wasn't so bad. Like I said, being smart about it, staying really low weight to get used to the movements and then increasing the weight as I go. But like yesterday, with gymnastics, there's no quick decreasing or increasing weight because it's all body weight, and I'm just big. Yeah,
the only thing you could do is like add bands and stuff.
So we did assisted strict pull-ups with, the bands.
The band,
so that, that helps, but still hard. And so you mix in shuttles and so did wall walks. That was fun.
Yeah, wall walks.
That was the first one. That was the first time
I've done those.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Those aren't that bad.
No, that wasn't too bad.
But you start, you add that and then maybe doing some overhead presses or some other shit. Like then they start to get fucking tough.
So that was the thing. Like with baseball, again, range of motion. Like we didn't really do overhead stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we did some push presses, but again with barbells or dumbbells, and then anything, and it was all lighter weight because you want to have flexibility but still have strength within your shoulders
and shit too,
right? And so, but like we would do shoulder workouts and just Ys and Ts and things like that, but it was all like the most I think we would ever do is 5 pounds, and so that was really the only really Ys is coming up over your head, and it was 5 pounds. And then also today realizing how inflexible I am compared to where I was when I was playing. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing.
Work in progress, bro. But
I
like,
know.
here's the
I
thing.
know,
Is
I'm
you're
excited.
getting in there, and you're here where you're at now, and where you're gonna be 6 months from now. You're like gonna be a completely different person, which is it's gonna be awesome to see. I know
Yeah.
it seems like a long road now, but like once you get in there,
But
and it's just
That's the thing with it is, you know, everything we do is a process.
100%.
Like, and that's the thing. It's the process of getting there. The end result's going to, I know what the end result's going to be. It's the process that comes with it that you got to fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I think we've talked about that on almost every episode is the process.
Just fall in love with just doing it. And
right.
Going into the gym, doing the shit every single day. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you just fall in love with it. You fall in love with the process. You fall in love with hanging out with all the people
right.
and just showing up and just not thinking about, just thinking about where you were before and where you're at now, and just like the steps forward that you're
right.
taking. And, I just try not to focus on, it's hard sometimes, but, especially I'm sure it's hard for you being where you were, when you were playing
right.
all the time and, in better shape or whatever, and then like seeing where you're at now, it's tough. I can
right.
imagine how that would be really hard.
And that was my own doing. Like when I got done with baseball, I mean, I played baseball until I was 27. Yeah, 27. And I started when I was 8. So that was my life. Yeah. And being told when to lift, how to lift, where to lift, like all that stuff. When I got done playing baseball, I'm just like, I was so burnt out. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to take some time off.
Sure.
And I remember because I still went to spring training in 2015 before I ramped up in this, and it really was like May of 15 that I really got full all out mortgages. But I went to spring training in 15, and I went in. I was in decent shape. I wasn't in like the best shape that I was when I normally played. My career was heading out and on the way out, and I really didn't want to play. But it was part of I was part of a trade to a local team here, and so I was like, all right, I got to go to spring training. And getting into spring training, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show up, but I wasn't in the great shape. My arm wasn't where it normally was heading into spring training. And my body definitely wasn't. Normally I was going into spring training about 215, 220, and I was more 225, 230 at that point. And I just remember being done and then not doing anything and doing this full time mortgages. And I went in to meet with my primary care in December, and I went from being like 225 to like 260 in a span from May to December. Yeah, no, but that's the thing is like, I was still used to eating what I was eating.
Yeah,
but I just cut out any physical training.
Exercise, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I put it off for 7 years. 7 years, and I got fat as fuck,
dude.
It was bad. It was bad.
Change.
So
now,
yeah,
you're gonna get. I mean, I feel like you cannot. I mean, that's not true, but I mean, I'm sure you. I feel like it's very difficult to consistently do these like difficult CrossFit workouts and not get in great shape.
Oh, I mean,
like, I feel like
unless you
got to be
like
really fucking up your diet to really be
right.
To like continue to gain weight or like even like maintain. I feel like whenever I'm doing them, ever since because I've been doing CrossFit for, I think I started in 21 in like September.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was doing like these like style of workouts for probably like 6 months to a year before I actually joined the gym, because there was like a group of us at jiu-jitsu. One of the girls, she's one of the coaches at CrossFit Achieve. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, wow.
Fucking nightmare.
Amanda Clifton.
Yeah, Amanda. She's very, very good. I always tell the story, like, honestly, she's like one of the reasons I probably got hooked to jiu-jitsu the way I did is this was back when I was still working at the barbecue place, and one of my employees there, he was like real into MMA and told me he was going to try a jiu-jitsu class. And I was like, dude, I've always wanted to do that, like wrestling and stuff. Like growing up, like I've always thought that'd be right up my alley. Obviously I was a big Joe Rogan listener, like talks about it constantly on there. So I eventually me and him went in and did like a trial class. And this gym compared to the gym that I go to now, like the gym that I go to now, they kind of, they put you in like the rookie class where you're kind of with all the other beginners. And that's actually the class I teach now. But at this gym, man, they just fucking threw you to the wolves your first day. You know,
wow.
like you're in there with everybody. You could be in there with a dude that's been doing it 10 years and it's your first day.
This is jiu-jitsu, not CrossFit?
Jiu-jitsu. And so, you know, I remember the very first day they showed an arm bar from S mount. And, you know, we drilled it for 15, 20 minutes. And then, all right, everybody line up. We're going to do 3-minute rounds, you know, grab a new partner every round. All right. So, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I know I just like tap when it hurts, you know, like that's about all I knew. But Amanda, getting back to her, she was training at this gym and she was a purple belt at the time. She's a black belt now. And I remember, you know, like, oh, I'll go with her. You know, I didn't know any better. I was like, sure, I'll go with you. And she just fucked me up for a solid 3 minutes. She probably tapped me like 5 or 6 times in a 3-minute round.
Mm-hmm.
And after it, I was like, holy shit. Like, man, if this like 135, 140 pound girl can ragdoll me and throw me around the mat, like I need to learn how to do, like, it was so eye opening. Like I was not like pissed off or anything. I was just like, I was amazed. I was like, holy shit. She just like effort, like barely even breaking a sweat, just armbar, triangle, on my back, choking me out. Like she just sweeping me left and right. Like, I'm like,
could call out what she was going to do before she did it.
I mean, she could have, for sure. I wouldn't have known what it was, but yeah, I mean, and then after that, I remember I literally I went and got in the car that night and I called Gina and I was like, honey,
babe, we're spending money.
No, I was like, no, I literally, this is my exact words to her. I'll never forget this. I go, Gina, this is what I do now. I'm coming back tomorrow. This is what I do now. And
I want to do this to someone else.
No, I'm like, I was like, I'm committing to this. Like, I'm going to get my blood. Like, I was like, I'm going to keep training jiu-jitsu. I fucking love that so much. That's like, it was like a big eye-opening experience because like I felt like something in my life ever since I left wrestling. Wrestling was the only sport I was ever any good at.
Yeah.
I was not good at any, I always say I suck at ball sports. Like I'm not fucking coordinated. Like I'm sure I can throw a baseball. I can, I played a little bit of soccer, awful at basketball. I was a decent hockey player, but I was never like, I'm not going to say I'm exceptional at grappling, but I'm better at that than I've ever been at any other sport. And so like ever since I left wrestling and stopped wrestling, from the time I was 18 to 25 when I found jiu-jitsu, I just felt like there was never anything that I was particularly good at or like something that I really fucking was passionate about.
Right.
I mean, because I lifted weights, but it's like hard to, I don't know, I wasn't going to do bodybuilding or anything like that. It was just like you're not working for something. But when I found jiu-jitsu, I was like, fuck, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And I just remember calling her that night and being like, babe, this is what I do now.
That's awesome.
Like, I don't know if she remembers that, but I remember that phone call. But I forgot even where I was at. Oh yeah, because I started doing these CrossFit workouts, and Amanda, the purple belt who I was saying, who threw me around like a rag doll, she's one of the coaches at CrossFit. She's been doing CrossFit for like 10 years, and her and the coach would put on these like CrossFit style workouts on Saturday mornings before the jiu-jitsu class.
Oh boy!
So you showed up there an hour early and did these like we'd be out in the fucking parking lot like doing shit, or we'd meet at like a field and like do, they'd put some sort of awful workout in. And, but anyway, I think I enjoyed it. And I think I felt good. I felt nice to be invited to that. Cause I was like, I felt like I'm part of the cool kids crew. Like all the people that are really good at jiu-jitsu are doing this workout. Okay. All the best people are showing up to these for this extra work. So I was like, I'll show up to that and do that too. Anyway, I made a lot of friends there, but anyway, that was where I started doing the kind of CrossFit style workouts. And then several months later, eventually joined Rachel's gym when she opened it up. Because I met her when she was dating someone else that I was showing houses to, and that's actually how I met Rachel. And then ended up, hanging out and talking with Rachel almost as more than I did my client. And because Rachel would show up to all the other showings, and it was just, and we just kind of formed a friendship from that. And then she opened the gym, and I just was like, check it out. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, man, I'm pumped that you're at
excited.
the gym.
Yeah, so
fucking pumped.
We've been talking about wins and losses, but that's definitely a win for me.
Yeah, let's get into our. We're gonna do kind of this wins and losses little segment. I think every week, and I think it'd be something to hold us accountable, and and I think it's gonna.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So win, getting my fundamentals done, so I can. Yeah. Like I said, I wanted to knock that shit out as quick as I could, so I could get going with it. So we knocked out the fundamentals in a week. Yeah. And then, so just stick with that. And then another win. Business has been great. In turn, contracts again still slow. Just not a lot of inventory out there. But I mean, shoot, last week was like 10 pre-approvals. This week has been another like 7. So they're rolling, they're coming in. It's just now
Getting them under contract.
finding a house.
Yeah.
So those are the wins. Loss, with time management, again, still, with how busy it's been, my time management has not on the work side. It's been fine. Like my day is structured great to accommodate my work stuff, but like the personal side of things, like, again, things get a little messy at the house, and trying to develop, part of the book club stuff that we were talking about, the Atomic Habits, is getting back into that routine of staying on top of certain things. But, laundry's piling up. Got to get those done. 2 little kids every couple days. And, so yeah, I mean, and then when I'm with the kids, like the last thing I want to do is take time away to clean
laundry.
Right. I want to be present with them. So yeah, so I need to do better with my personal time management. Got the work stuff down. Now it's just get better with personal time management. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. So my wins and losses for the week. I've been making sure I take notes of stuff. I've had quite a few I got 2 buyers under contract this past week and 2 listings, and I just got an offer on another one this morning. So maybe 3 listings under contract. So it's been a great week for me. With business. We closed on that flip last week. Got the boys over there rolling. So that's been awesome. Picked out the kitchen yesterday. Got all that ordered. So that should be
the fun stuff.
Weeks. Yeah, I'm spending lots of money. So I'm really excited about that. We've made a couple changes because I think I mentioned we were originally going to buy this house as a rental, and now we're just going to flip it.
Yeah.
So kind of changing our game plan there.
Okay.
Because I was like, there was some stuff that I wasn't going to do if we're going to keep it as a rental, but like,
right.
if we're going to flip it and get the most money for it, like we should definitely do that. You
right.
know, like buyer's going to want that to be done.
Right.
Little stuff like that. So that's been fun. I'm really enjoying this process of, designing and flipping a house and not being the one there, like doing all the work. It's been fun. Just basically my responsibility has just been like buying and ordering everything and just kind of showing up and making sure everything's moving along.
Yeah.
But we're really on the weekend, so it's not like it's been, I haven't been over there every day,
right,
cracking the whip or anything. I've stopped by twice. Yo, what's going on?
Yeah,
how are you? How's it looking?
At?
Yeah, how's it looking? Oh, cool. You guys made a lot of progress since I was here 3 days ago. Awesome. Right. Great. See ya.
Yeah.
So that's been good. Another win was that I was really, really pumped about. This is more on like the fitness side of things, but I got a couple muscle ups the other day.
There you go.
That's been something I've been really, really working on and trying. Well, I shouldn't say I've been working on it because I really haven't been as much as I should be. But it's something I've been always wanted to do, and I'm continuing to work. Now that I've got that, now that I can do a couple, I'm like wanting to get better at them so that I can actually like do them in a workout. So that's been really cool. That was like a huge milestone to be able to do some muscle ups. So those are my big wins this week. My losses, the one that I have here is it was more on like a personal side of things, but Cooper had my dog. I've got a 80-pound German Shepherd, and the other day we're pretty sure he released his anal glands all over our couch. So for those of you that don't know, I learned all about anal glands and what those entail. But apparently dogs have anal glands in their butthole that like has this fluid in it that they like normally excrete whenever they shit. And sometimes apparently whenever a dog is like scared or just randomly, they'll like release it. And I guess he was on the couch. I guess another way they release it is you see dogs like scoot their butts on the ground. I think that's what they're doing there. That's what they're trying to like get the anal.
That was just like an itch they couldn't scratch.
No, they're like trying to. I guess they're trying to release their anal glands. That's supposedly that's what I was told.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess he got scared or I don't know what happened, but anyway, we walked into the living room the other day and it just fucking smelled so bad. Man. Like our whole downstairs of our house. I remember you guys came a couple days later and I was like, does it stink in here? And but anyway, he had this like big ass stain on the couch about this big, and I mean the couch cushion just smelled. I mean we were trying to figure out what the smell was, and then we saw the stain. We're like, oh, that's 100% what it is. And then we took that couch cushion down to the basement for a few days and took us like 2 or 3 days to clean it. But then we were like, all right, well, we should probably like take him to the doctor and make sure that there's like not more in there or like everything's okay. So anyway, I took him to the vet, and the doc, me and the nurse basically had to hold Cooper's head, and they put a muzzle on him and everything because, like, the doctor has to stick his finger in his ass and release the anal glands, and so that's what he did. And apparently they were still very full. I'm glad we ended up going in there to do it, but guess when it's all said and done, I paid about $86 to get my dog's asshole fingered. So that's where we're at there. So that was my big loss for the week.
I'm gonna have to mute that for YouTube.
Really?
I'm kidding.
I hope not.
Just because it sounds really suggestive, and I was like, God, you might get flagged for that.
Yeah, fuck it.
Listen to the episode. And you won't get flagged.
Context.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my big loss, and then I thought I had one more business related. Maybe not.
No.
I mean, if I think of it all, I didn't write it down. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my wins and losses for this week. So could
Sounds
be
like-
worse, I guess, than having to spend.
Sounds like a good week,
It's
though.
a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Can't complain too much. So yeah, things have been going good.
Good.
So, I know we had some other shit we wanted to talk about here. There's this article on Yahoo News from it, who wrote it, but it's about the guy Kevin O'Leary. He's one of the people on the Shark Tank. He says that the number one trait, there's one common trait shared by all great investors, entrepreneurs, and managers, and it has nothing to do with business. Have it. But moral of the article is like it was people that have like a hobby or something that they do outside of work that they really like. And I think that that's pretty true when I look
Absolutely.
at, I mean, it's something I'm obviously,
Right.
we just
talked
spent
about
fucking 20 minutes talking about it probably, but I mean, obviously I like jujitsu and CrossFit.
Right.
They're two hobbies that I have that are, pretty intense that whenever I'm doing them, I really can't think about work too
Right.
much. It's very, very difficult. And if I do, something probably bad is happening to me if I'm thinking about
Right.
a real estate deal while someone's on top of me trying to choke me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's hockey. I play twice a week.
Yeah.
And then working out.
Yeah.
So, before doing CrossFit, I was at D1, which was a place in Manchester, Baldwin. So doing that a couple times a week, playing hockey a couple times a week, but something to take your mind off of the grind of business. It allows you to just, honestly, I think putting yourself through tough things and doing tough things outside of work helps you do tough things in work.
100%.
So, it was, doing a tough workout is going to mentally, your body's going to be worn out and destroyed, but mentally, you've just finished something really tough. Now you can translate that into, all right, I can do something tough elsewhere. And that's usually business. I mean, our jobs, it's not like it's not physically demanding, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. It's very mental. It can be very mentally draining.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this earlier today. I had to make a couple, more difficult phone calls this morning, and it's like, man, this is the worst thing about my job.
Right.
Like, I could have it a lot worse.
Oh, absolutely.
I got to call me bad news,
Right.
like we got to figure out a way to deal with this,
Right.
or this deal is going to fall apart,
Right.
kind of thing. And it's like, they're uncomfortable conversations, but they're conversations that obviously we need to have. And,
Mhm.
and I think the more that at least for me, man, where I really struggle with them is when I delay things and put them off.
Right.
And then they're just fucking looming over my head.
Mhm.
And it's like it was the other day, I think it was before we recorded a podcast or two ago, like I had to have this conversation or let this guy know what was going on. And I was like dreading it, like probably for like the whole night before. I was thinking about sending him the message, and I was like, I kept revising it and thinking about it, and I was like, fuck. And then I was like, all right, I just need to call him and have this conversation and get this over with, because otherwise I'm going to fucking be thinking about it and wish I would have had it. And yeah, so I just think pulling the trigger on shit like that and just actually making the move is what I mean, it makes me always feel better.
Yeah, it's one of you have to just do it right then and there. One of the things on our side really late, we saw it a lot in 20 and 21, but appraisals, like that was the big thing.
Yeah, dude, I haven't had an issue with that in a while.
No. It could change. It could change here quick with some of these offers I've been seeing and appraisal
Coming back,
gaps.
bro.
Oh man, is that whole thing where we were talking like maybe March or April? Now that shit's here now.
Here, bro.
Yeah, it's here.
I mean, which is thankfully for us working on this flip, I'm pumped, because like we're anticipating a certain ARV, and like that's what I want to list it at.
Right.
And so like, man, if we get anything more than that, hell yeah.
Right. And by the time you're done,
if it goes for 15, 20 grand over that, I'm gonna be stoked.
And you're gonna be
directly money in my pocket.
Right. And you're gonna be hitting it right as the spring market's picking up. So
we're thinking like second, third week in March probably.
Yeah. So
no, perfect.
Yeah. And but delivering that news like, hey, an appraise. Today's day and age, you're not pre-approved. Like very rarely are you gonna see somebody that you pre-approved get denied. Unless they do something stupid, like
in the middle of the transaction or something.
Yeah. Very rarely, you should do enough due diligence up front when you're pre-approving somebody that once they get a contract, it should be easy at that point.
Yeah.
While
we're on that topic,
yeah,
Gina's talked to me several times about bringing this up.
Yeah.
Because when we were going to buy our house, I did exactly what Pat just told you not to do, and I bought a car. But I talked to our lender first. I talked to Frank first, and he said it was okay.
Yes.
But don't do that. If you're under contract to buy a house, no big major purchases. Open any lines of credit unless you consult your lender.
Consult your lender.
Yeah. Consult your lender. Well, so what we ended up doing was we just took me off the loan, and Gina just bought it all in her name. But like I needed to buy a car, and
right.
And I had a good deal. It was the truck that I have now still.
Right.
And it was a good deal, and I didn't want to pass it up. And yeah. But anyway, she said like 3 or 4 times now. She's like, you should have brought that up. That'd be a good thing to bring up. There you go, honey. I brought it up.
Yes, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
that.
The perfect example of what not to do.
Yeah. So
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. So exactly. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like, you're never having to call somebody with bad news. Like, hey, your loan's getting denied. Like I've never had to make that call. Like if I pre-approve you get under contract, you're going to close.
Right.
Unless something crazy happens. Where you're out of what I already have proof. Like you'll see people trying like wanting to change jobs. I'm like, no.
Change jobs after we close.
Yeah, you can do that afterwards. I don't care what you do after you close on this house. But I mean, I'm like, if this is a must-have opportunity, like again, call me, because if it's in the same line of work, you're making more money. Okay, that's fine, because I've had it happen. I've had people change jobs in the middle of the transaction because it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it jived with what they were doing, but they were gonna make way more money.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, go for it. I was like, there's some income related programs that we have that if that screwed it up, but having that conversation with them,
yeah, you can take the new job, but you were going to lose this grant or whatever.
Yes, exactly. But at that point though, like I'm like, the amount of money you're going to make when this new job, that's not going to matter anyway. So,
right.
Yeah. So it's those tough conversations you have to have right away. Just
100%.
To get it done. And that's the thing is we build it up in our heads.
It's never as bad.
It's never as bad as it's going to be.
I can't tell you how many times I've like thought that like I've dreaded making this call, and then I get off and I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad at all.
Right.
Like he was totally cool with it.
Right.
Like I thought I'd be, setting his house on fire, and now, it's not that bad.
Part of it is also our ego, at least in my estimation, which is that thing you think is going to be so bad. It's because the onus is on you to bring up something to someone. But it is often how you say, not what you say, that really matters. And I mean, as far as you two go, I mean, level-headed, genuine, down to earth. I would definitely think it's one of those things. It's like, I don't want to do this because I feel like I'll be viewed badly. But at least in dealing with both of you as much as I do, obviously you've sold me a house and we've spent a lot of time together throughout the beginning of the year. It's like, I think as far as having hard conversations, you two would be the people I'd want to have them with most.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's Ricky Caruth. He's a agent on social media. He's a big agent in Alabama with EXP. I'm just like and honestly, I think a lot of my business philosophy, or like kind of how I've run my business, or how I kind of like deal with clients, is really based on a lot of stuff that he's kind of like talks about and preaches about. And it's really like talking to your client and making your clients your friends, and talking to them. Like he says, like, because I you know, like a lot of his things is like, he does a lot of like circle prospecting and calling neighborhoods and stuff. And he's like, talk to him like you talk to your mom, you know, like you wouldn't be salesy with your mom, you know, you'd be friendly with your mom.
Yeah.
You know, like talk to him like you talk to your friend, your best friend, your mom, like,
right.
you know, and I've always kind of tried to take that approach as much as I can. Obviously there's, you know, certain people you talk to that I'm not going to, it would probably be a little insulted if I talk to them that way.
Right.
But, you know, obviously you got to feel every little situation out, but
right.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, but back to that, I mean, back to what we were originally talking about. I mean, having those with the hobbies, you know, like you said, doing tough things outside of your job allows you to do tough things in your job. But it gives you your you time. It gives you time to work on yourself. And, you know, yeah, I love my job. You love your job. Yeah. But I think
there's times I don't love it.
Right.
I shouldn't say there's times I don't love it, but there's times that are difficult, or I'm like, fuck, this is a bad day.
Right.
You know,
but
it's one of those days where everything's falling down around you.
Yeah, I mean, but they correlate to one another. Like personal growth outside of your job is going to allow you to have business growth. It's going to allow you to focus on those things. You know, like, hey, all right, I want to better myself as a person, which is ultimately going to better myself as a business person. You know, so you know, it's just having that hobby, having those things that allow you to escape the grind of managing a job, being an entrepreneur, like having that. It's just a release that you're not just 100% focused on this. You know, it allows you to be more versatile, essentially. So
yeah, couldn't agree more. Anyway, if you want to get into our next
I'm excited.
topic,
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. So we thought we'd go over and kind of talk about some major developments that have been happening in St. Louis over the last couple of years, and that are continuing to happen, and that are currently like under construction, or however you want to say it. But we found this article on St. Louis Today, St. Louis Magazine, about the major projects shaping St. Louis right now. Just because you drive, you know, for anybody that's not here, you know, you drive around. I mean, St. Louis is very old. I mean, it's, you know, one of the first major cities. I mean, it used to be like one of the biggest cities. I mean, I think it's used to be like top 10 biggest cities before the split. Yeah. So, but anyway, everything in St. Louis, especially like in the city, is very like old and dated. Like a lot of the houses that I sell, or a lot of them are like 100 years old. All, you know, like a lot of them are. So, you know, with things being around for 100 years, they definitely need to be revamped and kind of more modernized. And, you know, things have changed and times are changing. So we're seeing a lot of developments around the city, and it really fires me up just because I've just fucking love this place. And I plan on living here my whole life. I have no plan of going anywhere anytime soon. So,
but speaking of that real quick, the quality of work done back then, like I don't think my house would ever last 100 years. If it made it 50 years, I'd be shocked.
Oh yeah, dude. Like this duplex that I'm selling right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was built like 1903, and
all
like,
brick.
it's fucking gorgeous, dude. Like the brickwork and like all the detail, like around like all the windows, like there's like these like little
St.
designs.
Louis is very unique with its architecture and with its buildings.
Yeah,
cool, man. I'm like, man, this thing is just freaking sweet.
Like even the cookie cutter houses in St. Louis City, like they're still. Like,
you drive down like you know, like Southampton, you see like all like the gingerbread houses, with, like the pointed roofs and the, you know, like the Holly Hills and like all that stuff. It's so cool.
I will always love that part of St. Louis too. It's just such a little quintessential neighborhood, and it's in the city, but it's not in a sketchy part of the city. It's just kind of got that just metro feel of what St. Louis is. And I actually got into a little debate with someone about this online. Someone who apparently lived here for 8 years. It's like, I've lived here for 26 years. And I was like, St. Louis has a lot of French influence into it. Like, I lived in St. Louis 8 years. I'd never seen that. It's like,
there's fleur-de-lis everywhere. I got one fucking tattooed on me because of it.
Like we literally are like the little cousin of New Orleans. Yeah. And I was like, on top of that, don't you realize like Missouri was part of like the Louisiana Purchase that was owned by The French.
St. Louis
was French.
He was French.
The pear, like
The way that-
Gravois.
Gravois.
Yeah,
Lemay.
Yeah, it's like French everywhere.
It's not Hoosier, it's Houjwa.
Yeah.
Bourgeois.
There's a video
I never
out
thought
there.
about Limay, but yeah, we say Limay, but it's probably
Lemay.
Lemay.
Yeah.
Lemay, we say Gravois, but it's
It's
Gravois.
Gravois.
Some
probably,
deep
right?
hot.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's funny. There's a video out there
The old Des Perez
that,
over.
that had St. Louis hockey players saying the street names of in St.
Oh
Louis.
really?
That's
Oh.
great. But guess who said them all right? The French players.
Oh really?
Yeah, David Perron. Because
Really?
I mean, he's from Quebec, but that's
It's
French
Canadian. Yeah.
But he pronounced them all like how they should be pronounced.
Really?
And yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. So
It's like, how do you say Missouri, though? Missouri. You know how we say it? Missouri.
Missouri.
Just take some peanut butter, stick it to the roof of your mouth, and
Yeah.
you're good.
God.
Yeah, the Missouri one, and that one always bugs me.
That you'd be in like your high school waiting for them to like, hey, you can come visit this university that's in the guidance counselor's office. Like, University of Missouri, Columbia. It's like,
Yeah.
we know where she's from.
Oh,
You're
yeah, we
from
know.
St. Louis, sister.
Mm.
She from the boat hill. Anyway,
no.
so though we go over this article, kind of talk about some projects that are
there's
going
some
on.
really exciting, cool things coming.
Is that a Target?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there's
but-
this. They're calling it the Steel Coat Square District, but I also found this other article that was calling it the Prospect Yards. So I don't know
Where's this going?
It's right
You know where
by
the new Top Golf is in
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah.
It's
like right by
just-
Watson's, bro.
Yeah.
It's like right
Yeah.
by Slough and Watson's.
That's a
Here-
decent area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, well, here's the area right here. It's right there. So it's like the square of Choteau, Compton, Laclede, and Vandevender. So like pretty much right on Slough's
Even the word
campus.
Choteau is incredibly French.
Yeah, for sure.
Laclede?
Yeah, Laclede. Vandevender.
Compton. The Compton's Compton.
Yeah.
Compton, South Central. What you talking about,
Yeah,
dog?
what you talking about? But anyway, so there's a resurgence happening in this heart of St. Louis, large-scale projects such as City Park, where St. Louis City plays, the Foundry, which is already up, the Armory, which is already up, and Top Golf, which is already up. But apparently it looks like they're adding, what's that?
So they're putting
Target.
Yeah, it looks like a Target.
Yeah, they're putting up a Target.
Almost looks like lofts too.
Yeah, it looks like right here, 199
yeah.
apartments
Yeah.
with a 70,000 square foot Target.
Trying to make
Sick.
it more like Chicago in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. Because you go to like the heart of Chicago, the nicer part of the heart of Chicago, and they have a lot of that. It's like combined living on top
Where
of
they
all
got,
the
like,
businesses.
above it.
Yeah.
Above
They
there's
just
like
build
lofts
up.
and apartments. Like
It's cool.
it is kind of crazy seeing, because that's one of the three places I
Man.
compare it to.
It's
But
like
Fuck,
Central
fuck,
West
if we
End.
lived above Target, that'd be the most dangerous thing ever for my
Jeez.
fucking wife. Gina, I love you.
Yeah, millionaires are gonna be living there. You know, it's just go
Yeah,
right down to Target.
Just go right down
just
to
they need-
Target and
yeah,
spend all their money
to afford to live there.
Right. So that'll be sick. And I've been telling people for years that like that's an area of St. Louis, like where Watson's is, like that Midtown area. I think especially because this has kind of been in talks for a while, and all the development they've been doing. I've been saying like, man, you're like looking for an area where we're gonna see some crazy appreciation over the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
I would assume. I mean, obviously I can't predict the future, but I would say like I think we would see some crazy appreciation in home values explode in that area over the next couple of years.
Right.
Just because, I mean, dude, you ever see anywhere that has a Top Golf and a Target and things aren't?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a very nice area.
white people gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
mean,
white
like
people
it-
are gonna go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like Chesterfield. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
Look what's going on out there.
Yeah,
So
exactly. That's on the
right,
list.
It's on the list.
We're gonna get there.
Oh yeah.
So we got this Brick Line Greenway where I don't exactly know.
So it's like basically they're what is it? They're making a pathway that's going to connect a bunch of different 10 miles of trails that connect different neighborhoods within St. Louis. So being able to just walk or hop on a bike, I mean, you see these bigger cities that have those areas where it's safe to hop on one of the birds, those electric
Yeah.
scooters,
Mhm.
or ride your bike or walking, it's walkable.
Yeah, if
Everything's
there's
walkable.
one thing
And
about
that's-
St. Louis that we don't
Yeah.
have. We don't have great public transportation or great
No.
like walking trails or like I wouldn't say it's like a very like friendly city for people that are like super active,
Right.
like they want to like run or like ride their bikes, or I mean, obviously they can just run and ride on the street, but
Right.
you know, lots of
City wise, the county obviously is much more built for being able to be able to walk out in public and all
For
that.
sure.
But this makes me happy because I think of the three of us in the room, I'm probably the most critical of living in St. Louis. I must live for sure that I am.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah. You're over here like, I love it. I never want to leave. I'm like, where's my beach and my palm trees, baby? But I do think that's awesome because although I hate how Chicago is ran, I love going there because it's just such a spot of culture in the United States. You go there and it has such a big feel. We're 1/3 the size of Chicago. If we can build out some more of these city limits, like our skyline starts to look like there's a lot more going on here, hopefully that attracts more money and more people that want to innovate in such an affordable place.
And that's what's crazy too, is like we are smack dab in the middle of the country.
Belly button.
Like,
Yeah.
right in the
Belly
middle.
button. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And it's like, we should be a bigger, better city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I love St. Louis. I love being here. It wasn't always like that. I didn't really learn that until leaving St. Louis and coming back. But no, like there's so much, like, it's just a melting pot of so many different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many great things that we could do with the city that we just kind of let go.
That's how it's
We
ran.
didn't keep up with it. We didn't, you just, I don't know. And I'm glad that this is happening because there's so many things that we could do with the city to make it the hub of the country, being smack dab in the middle, like a place of like, I don't know.
It's also partly though where you stay too. We're in Oakville right now. Oakville is really well maintained and it's really well ran. Melville,
Hey, it's Melville, bro.
but the Oakville school
Melville,
district in and
Oakville.
of itself is worth so much more than where I live or even where my parents are on Ripa.
Yeah.
I've been to your home, which is beautiful. We don't wake up in Soulard or by Watson's every day. So when we think about how the folks who live down there, what they have to deal with, their leadership in the city is much different than ours out here in these counties. And so,
that's that big split, like,
Yeah, the city county split.
Yeah.
So it's
And
such a strange thing.
right. And I think that goes back to the early 1900s.
Why? And what was the reasoning behind it? You know?
I think it had to do with taxes. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, you basically take 270. Well, moving a little bit, but Shrewsbury, and that's all part of the county. But
once you get to River de Pere, that's where it starts.
Yeah, I
to
always say
change.
River de Pere is like the line.
There's
I mean, it's a little bit before.
That's the
technically.
city. That starts the
You might
city.
you might even be able to pull up an article on that too.
Yeah.
Like the split, but they brought it back probably a couple years ago. They were talking about merging it again, but it's more so like separating of St. Louis City Police and Fire and St. Louis County City and Fire. But then you have St. Louis City, you've got that extra 1% tax you have to pay that you don't have to pay in the county. And that's the thing is, like, if we were to sit down and combine St. Louis City and St. Louis County, we would be one of the largest cities in the country.
For sure.
We'd be in the top. I think we would probably be.
Crime statistics will go down.
I want to say like
100% they would.
right. But I think that's another, another reason why that was like one of the arguments on why, like, St. Louis gets a bad rep for being one of the most dangerous cities. But like, once you once you bring in the counties, it's not.
Yeah.
And
That's a good point. I
like
never
for
thought
me, like growing up here, like when I hear St. Louis, like I never really think of it as both. I think of it as a whole.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
But
outside
it's
of
technically divided.
right, outside of people living in St. Louis, like when they hear St. Louis, it's just they don't realize that there's all these surrounding areas that make up St. Louis County and are technically part of St. Louis.
Well, and a lot of the people who give us a rap for being so dangerous, they don't understand that doesn't go down on the south side. That doesn't happen by De Pere and by Omen and by Watson's. That's Ferguson, which is North County, which is tough. Like, you want to go to a dangerous place, go there. Or they're talking about East St. Louis, which isn't even part of
It's
Missouri.
not even St. Louis, yeah.
But it's still called East
East
St.
St.
Louis. And when you go there, it's like, I feel like I'm driving on 8 Mile.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
For all the, I mean, there's nothing but strip
Dilapidated
clubs and
homes.
dilapidated homes.
Yeah.
They don't have a police department, do they?
No, apparently, no. I think they do have well, I know a buddy of mine. He worked. I can't remember which. It was one of like the 3-letter agencies. I want to say it was like the FBI, but he was like working for them, and he had like their headquarters was in Sauget, which is
What?
their like little area that they were in. And remember
Like
telling me that I was like,
Southeast St. Louis.
yeah, I was like, ooh, that's kind of a weird place for
They're
the.
hiding in plain sight.
I guess I don't know.
Ain't nobody coming on.
I mean, who
knocking on
knows?
y'all's
And
door.
this was fucking 5 years ago now. Now that I think about it, so who even knows if that's like even there anymore? Who knows? But I remember him telling me that, and I was like, "Whoa, that's weird."
Yeah.
Or just crazy. I wouldn't expect it to be there.
Right.
Expect him to be on like fucking Clayton or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway, so our next project, the Gateway South.
Scroll up
Which-
a little bit.
Oh,
There we go.
there. Sorry.
Yeah. So just south of the highway there and south of the arch, they're going to build all, like, I've seen the plans on it. I'm surprised they don't have the picture of that up there of the plans, but like more apartments and lofts and condos and shopping and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pathways. Cause you can't, like,
Well, that area definitely could use
Right.
use a lift,
Facelift.
facelift for sure. Well, I mean, I love that we have we have a national park in the slap dab in the middle of our
Right.
city,
City.
you know, like right under the arch, which is, you know, I always forget about. Like I never really go there too often, but I mean, we obviously know people that live there.
Mhm.
Right.
We see it on their stories all the time.
To believe that they're only paying like 20, I think they pay like 22 for their 2-bedroom loft. It's literally right there next to the arch.
Right.
And that cost of living is ridiculous. It's almost insulting how cheap it is here.
but again,
Affordable is a better term.
You mentioned it talking about the skyline. I mean, that's the whole picture of St. Louis, downtown St. Louis. That's
Pretty
it.
much. Yeah.
Not a
I
lot.
saw the U.S. Bank building,
Yeah.
that building with the green
Purina.
top. Yeah, the Purina building.
So it's just, I mean, there could be so much more. And one thing too that you might start seeing now that some of these businesses went to work from home and kind of staying that way, you might see some of these larger like business buildings turned into luxury
Condos, lofts.
condos or apartments.
Would make sense.
That'd be
So-
cool.
Yeah, I mean, you
If I
turn
had the money.
for sure.
I mean, you never know. You
Yeah.
might. It might be one of those things where, like, hey, you pay $2,000 a month here, rent out the house, be like,
Yeah.
I'm near all the stuff I like to be near.
Right.
Yeah.
Got Ballpark Village down there. You've got stadium. You got station, which isn't too far away. What is it? Enterprise.
Enterprise down there.
Yeah. Peabody Opera
Slow.
House.
yeah. Yeah. Stifle Theater.
Stifle.
Stiefel or
Stiefel.
Stifle?
Stiefel.
Stiefel.
Yeah, which that
Stifle.
used to be the
Right.
Peabody.
Yeah.
Now it's Stiefel.
Oh, it's not the Peabody anymore? I haven't been there in like 10 years.
Seen a couple stand-ups there.
Yeah. I saw Burt Kreischer there.
Oh yeah, I saw Tom Segura there. I think.
Burt
And then you just
Kreischer.
saw Shane Gillis.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Did he do his Trump jokes?
Yeah, he did his Trump impression. It was
Yeah.
good.
Did he
was
say
good.
did he do the Rand Paul was ugly joke?
No,
Oh.
it was great though. It was, yeah, man. Anybody. I mean, I'm a huge fan. That's like my favorite thing to go see is go
It's
see a
comedy.
stand-up comedy. And so any major comedian that comes to town, I'm really there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Shane Gillis was here like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Me and Gina went. I completely forgot that I even bought tickets because I bought tickets for it like 6 months ago. And all of
Really?
a sudden, I was like reminded like 2 days before, and I was like, "Fuck, I completely
So,
forgot."
He must be a fan, like a real
Oh,
estate fan favorite, because I got on social media that night. And like, so obviously social media, I've got a ton of real estate agents that I follow and all that. I think I probably saw on probably 20 different real estate agents
Really?
stories being at Shane
Oh, he's
Gillis.
great, dude.
Yeah.
So I recommend anybody that's, likes to laugh.
Yeah.
He's coming to your city. Go see him because, man, I really want to make a trip to Austin. That's like something
Go
I
to
really,
Yeah, place. That would be amazing.
That's something I've been really fucking wanting to do that.
Hey,
for
Joe Rogan, have us on your podcast.
Yeah, we'll come.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We're interested.
Go see Kill Tony, and then like go to
Yeah.
a Kill Tony show,
Yeah.
and go to, like hang out at the mothership for a couple nights. I would fucking love that.
That'd be amazing.
I love stand up. That's like my favorite thing to watch. It's just like I was telling Murph recently, like concerts, like you go to, like, you're real into like live music, and I used to go to like a lot of live music when I was
Mhm.
younger, but like now that's pretty much all I ever go and see
Yeah.
is like stand up.
Shows in and of themselves are whatever. Like I'll go to a show, but I don't go out. I don't really have many things that I spend money on. I like to spend money on experiences. So I fully embrace the festival thing just because it's so immersive. Like if I could go see comedians for 3 days straight
Yeah, I would love that.
while having a suggestive state of mind while
Yeah.
I did it, bet your ass I'd do it.
For sure.
But
Like a stagecoach for comedians.
Well, they do that, like comedy festivals.
Uh,
They do comedy festivals. Just for Laughs Comedy Fest. I think that one's in.
I think that could be something we could all do together. And
I'd
be
be
a
fucking
really
all
great
over
project.
I'm
that.
down.
I'd be all over that.
I'm all
Yeah, you'll
for
go
it.
see comedy, but you won't go rave with me, motherfuckers.
I mean,
Yeah.
fuck.
I'm kidding,
Well,
dude.
I mean, I'm about to not be going anywhere after we have the second baby.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
gonna
bought
be-
tickets.
I don't know. With I've been to some EDM concerts, and afterwards I just feel like my brain's just rattling. Just
That's the best part.
I'm just like my eyes are shaking.
Nah, the best part's when you melt into the bed of your hotel and you know you've got 2 more days ahead of you, and then you will have to go back to your regular life.
Yeah.
You will be miserable.
Can't you just live here?
But
Anyway, let's
So-
look at our next.
so this
the
one's
next
been
spot.
going on for a while. This is the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, which is awesome that it's coming to St. Louis. Like again, smack dab in the middle of the country, perfect place for it. And the amount of jobs and that's going to create, not just with the building of it, but also the people coming in that are going to be coming to work.
So I guess this is like kind of up by like Boeing and all that.
It's north of the city, because like if you look at the picture,
Yeah.
you can see the
Yeah,
dome in the background. It's going to be in North County, and they're expecting, 1.7 billion their western headquarters. Like, yeah,
Wow.
it is going to be awesome.
Employees arrive in 2026.
26. Oh yeah, they've been working on this for a while.
Jesus.
So, but yeah, I mean, they're in an area that needs some
Development, for sure.
redevelopment, and just like that's where a lot of dilapidated. Like I was talking to an investor a couple of years ago that was going through and buying properties up there, and he was getting for like $7,000-8,000 a house.
What?
Yes. Like, I'm telling you, like almost like it was like a tear down rebuild type
Yeah.
thing, but it was a lot of those old brick
Mhm.
row homes. And I'm like, that's so smart, but your return on your investment's not going to happen for years. I mean, this was like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
because they've been working on this for a while now.
Right.
And he was looking at places up there, and it was just, I'm like, that's a really smart idea. And I don't know how long it's
play.
gonna take you to get all these homes and things redone and built, but that would be amazing, because it's gonna be close to where they're at, and again, it's just an area that needs to be, revamped.
Yeah.
And
Needs it.
I think that's gonna help.
Now did he rehab those homes or did he tear them down?
I don't think he never ran, because he called. He's like, "Yeah, I want to get a loan." I'm like, "Buddy, just take a home equity line on credit against your house and pay for it.
Getting a loan for
Yeah.
$6,000.
And we can't even do a
oh,
loan that low.
yeah.
Like it's so.
I'll loan you $6,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Just
Yeah, give me some
know?
interest.
exactly. So, but they were more like he's wanting to buy it, mix in the construction on that. I'm like, go get a hard money loan,
Yeah.
better off for it.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, see, like behind it.
Yeah.
All that's basically where those homes were that he was going to go and completely redo, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. Like it to be done. So that'll be a big one coming in 2026.
All right. Next one.
Delmar,
The Delmar Maker District.
So is this going to be like by the Delmar Market?
Yeah, it says right here,
So-
just east of the Delmar Loop, the Delmar Maker District is picking up momentum. New additions have sprouted up near the Third Degree Glass Factory, Magic House, and Made for Kids and Craft Alliance, including Makers Local.
multi-use facility housing Alpha Brewing. So
Second location for Steve's Hot Dogs
Yeah.
and spinoff of the Fountain on Locust.
like they're going to be putting some restaurants in there.
Cool.
Looks very
Um,
artsy fartsy.
It
Yeah,
does.
but again,
Yeah.
adding it. I mean,
The loop, yeah, the loop's pretty cool.
It's an
but-
artsy.
but
it's-
bro,
it's
U
not there.
City's such a weird spot, man. I've got several listings. I've sold several houses over there, especially over the last 2 years. It can be. There's some areas of U City that are so freaking nice and gorgeous, and you see $1 million homes, but then like
2 blocks.
two
over.
blocks down, it's like a fucking does not look. It's like how I don't understand how that's so close to this area that's
Well, it's gentrification.
I guess
They take low income areas. Well, actually, South Park did a whole spoof on this. They called it Soto Sopa. It was like the villages near Kenny's house because Kenny,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
poor,
right.
and so the idea is that typically a bunch of affluent, usually pretty well off and privileged people, or just developers, they come through, they do what your friend did, which is buy super cheap properties, And they turned them into these artsy fartsy districts that attract, I hate to say this, hipsters.
Right. 100%. That's exactly what I am. I mean,
This looks like the villages at Kenny's house. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, that's definitely what's going on for sure. But hey, I mean,
it fits the loop though.
It fits the loop. You know, all right, loop's definitely like an artsy fartsy kind of area.
Which I have no problem with.
No, I fit right in with that, I think. So I'm into all that.
The pageants, I love going.
I love
to
the pageants. It's like one of the
Pageant's
best venues
awesome.
in town.
Yeah.
This is sick.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know
That's
anything
nice.
about this until we pulled up this article. But
This has been talked about for at least a couple years now.
really,
Man,
I didn't know anything about it.
2026. Yeah, they bought a ton of acreage a few years ago back up or 425 acres in North County. So like it's way
Up there.
Yeah. Like
It's got to be if it's
all-
425 acres.
like I'm talking like directly across from Alton.
Oh wow,
North.
Way up
Yeah,
there.
it's way up there. And so yeah, they're turning it into like a
Safari.
And
Sick.
it's like right on the river. Right on the river. My thing is like, what if you get some hippos up there that hop in the river and they start
Dude.
making their way down?
Bro. Especially you don't want hippos
No.
getting loose at
But-
all.
but-
Those are more they're responsible for more human deaths than any other
Anything.
animal on the
Yeah.
planet.
They're mean. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, is like, it's just going to be like this wildlife preserve where you can go through and take safaris. And I mean, looking at this picture, it looks like they're building a restaurant where you can actually like
Where the giraffes can like come and stick their head up on the balcony.
Yeah.
And like feed them and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Damn. So 230 million spirit. What is it?
So likely house such animals as giraffes, rhinos, zebras, gazelles, antelope, camels, and ostriches. Guests will be able to take safaris through woodlands and savannah, feed the giraffes, and stay. And they're adding luxury cabins.
Damn, this is sick. So what is it? Opens in 2026.
So yeah,
Slated.
That part's slated to open in 2027. The 2.8 acre destination Discovery slated to open in 26 on the former site of Emerson Citizen Zoo. The zoo's existing forest park location include providing a place where visitors can watch macaws fly overhead and see a Tasmanian devil up close, explore underground tunnel systems. That's awesome.
Shout out to St. Louis Zoo for being great and free.
Yeah, it's like one of 2 zoos in the country that are free. I think.
San Diego, the other one?
No. I think it's somewhere in Washington.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is, but no, you have to pay to get in San Diego Zoo.
San Diego's going to cost money no matter
Yeah,
what.
we go to the zoo all the time.
Yeah.
We're big zoo
And
goers for sure.
there's not just the fact that the animals and stuff, but like the things that they do, like where they bring in all the breweries and you can walk around and drink at the zoo, and they put on a concert at night, or the lights,
The zoo light, that was always
the Christmas lights.
That was always a tradition me and Gino would do every year.
Halloween,
holiday lights every year.
Yeah, Halloween. I've been to a wedding there. Like
Even when you walk in, just like the main little room that you walk into, like the way that they've decorated and have it set up, like the fact that they have that giant squid suspended, you can look at it, it has like a beak and everything. I'm like, this place, and honestly, you go into like the reptile room and the inside.
Well, it's a legit fucking zoo.
If you go into the insect house, they have a bird eating spider in there.
Really?
And it will hang up on the glass and you will like see its fangs. It could cover your whole face, bro.
it's
Kill it with my foot though.
and then
It will eat your face.
the new like kids playground with the monkeys. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, where you can like walk through it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we went to. I mean, like I said, we go to the zoo all the time. So yeah, there was this one day where I can't remember if it was me or Gina. This monkey didn't like. But it was like this dude started from like way up here and he like jumped from like thing to thing, and then like it's like there's nets. So he like came at me like
For real?
Yeah, and then like landed on the net, and like I mean if the net was not there he would have like latched onto my face.
You want to roll, motherfucker?
Yeah, no, but it was great. I mean I like for sure like jumped back
Right.
because he was like coming at us, you know, but it was yeah, he like flew through the air like with like one of these where he like spider monkeyed and like.
I'll tell you, one of the coolest experience that I've had at the zoo, and it was a birthday gift.
Yeah.
Going behind the scenes and with the penguins.
Oh really?
Oh, so much. Penguins are my favorite.
I just fucking stink,
Penguins are cool.
dude.
They stink, but
going in that ride, we do it every time unless the line's like wrapped around the building.
Right.
But I'm like, man, like,
yeah, I don't know.
fucking stinks in there.
Like I said, it was a birthday present, and that an ex took me to. It was awesome. We went and hung out and played with the penguins, and then fed all the behind the scenes stuff. that you don't get to see. And it was like an hour and a half long, but you sit on the ground, they bring in some penguins and they're like, don't reach for the penguins, let them come to you. And, they'll walk around and they'll just like look at you and heads turn.
Waddle around. Yeah. Next one, Westport Plaza.
Westport's always been in my.
Yeah, it's kind of always been popping.
Yeah,
I mean, they've always been developing over there. I mean, at least that long as I can remember. My mom works at the Westport Sheridan for like 20 years.
Yeah, and you've got Westport Social over there. Right. You have Trainwreck Saloon, and then like Worldwide Technologies just has HQ have their headquarters there. I forget who else is. There's a couple other big businesses over there, but they just did They just did a 360 bar there that just opened very recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just and it's all condensed. It's right there, and yeah, so just them continuing to add to that is just a whole nother. Like it's weird because we got like different pockets. You got Westport, you've got Chesterfield now that's blowing up. You've got the Central West End, then you have the city, and
there's so many like little areas of
little
St. Louis
pockets
and little neighborhoods. It's like, my business partner, when he'd never been to St. Louis until recently, and so we bought this property back in the summer. And when he was here, I like wanted to make a point to like really kind of like show him around and like let me explain to you like there's every like little neighborhood has their own little thing and like. All right, now we're on the hill. This is the Italian neighborhood. Look at the fire hydrants. Like the fire hydrants are painted like the Italian flag.
The best neighborhood, thank you.
Yeah, the best neighborhood. Yeah, whatever. This is Dogtown. This is like the Irish neighborhood. This is Dutchtown. This is the rough neighborhood.
The hill used to be all Europeans, though.
Yeah.
Right.
For what it's worth, Dutch, Irish, French.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then
Italian.
they just kind of created their own little pockets. But
we all kind of segregated into our own little colonies based on like where you
right. Well, it's just I was just trying to show them like, hey, there's this is the county, this is the city. When I say county, think like suburbs.
Right.
Like this is the suburbs, but it's technically still St. Louis. Like it's St. Louis City, St. Louis County. I know we kind of went into that whole county city thing, but it was something that I feel like it's just. I didn't, it's not weird to me because we've been here our whole lives, but like, I guess when
explaining
you
to
someone else, like, oh, you guys don't have that. That's just our thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Why does everyone ask you where you went to high school?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Why does
it's just so people know exactly what part of St. Louis you're from, and odds are they knew somebody that went there 100%. To start a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
100%. So, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah. But I always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to come visit or if you're going to come to St. Louis, you got to come for at least a week. To really explore the different areas and do the different, like really get like, I mean, where else can you go? You can great Bosnian food, amazing Thai food. You've got on Cherokee Street, which is where all like great Mexican restaurants. You got the Hill with all the Italian restaurants. Like you could spend a day at each.
Oh, 100%.
Ballpark Village would probably take you a day.
Yeah.
Like if you really wanted to enjoy Ballpark Village, you'd need the whole day.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like same thing with like Central West End. I love the Central West End. Like I think the Central West End is great. Like so many cool places. Like there's this one place, Evangeline's, which is like a New Orleans style bar, and there's not a lot of people. Like, amazing. And every time I'm in there, like it doesn't seem like a ton of people know about it. Maybe like the people of Central West End know about it, but it's awesome. But they have like I'm talking like old like. Swing music, jive music going on there. Awesome. The bar is great. The manager's back there running the show, and he's cool as shit. Like, get you fucked up.
Yeah.
And so it's a cool, and their food is great. It's French food. They got amazing beignets. Oh, so good. They have this one that's like orange, like it's got this orange zest to it. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna slobber all over this mic. I can taste it now, but no, it's just it's a great place, and there's a lot of places like that. And partial, you've got St. Children's Hospital there. That's where I was born, and then my very first day out of the hospital, my parents had me in a bucket seat or a pumpkin seat, whatever they called it back then, and I was placed on the bar of Tom's Bar and Grill. Like that was my dad's place. My dad lived in the Central West End when him and my mom, like he had a condo when he first met, and like. Tom's Bar and Grill was his Cheers bar.
His
and
spot.
So like my mom, when he didn't, back then it was before cell phones and he didn't have a landline. So she needed to get a hold of him. She would leave a message at Tom's Bar and Grill because she knew that he was going to be there. And so, yeah, that was like their thing. And I grew up in going to Tom's. And so, but yeah, what was that? I guess third day on Earth. I was on.
Yeah, sitting on Tom's bar.
I was on the bar at Tom's.
Hell yeah!
Only that was a foreshadow for what to come.
Yeah.
So,
all right, next one, Crestwood Crossing. I drive by this one all the freaking time.
Yep.
It's so they put this new Deerbergs in where the old Crestwood Mall used to be. Like, I
R.I.P.
remember going to that. Yeah, R.I.P. Crestwood Mall. I remember going to that as a kid.
Heck yeah.
They tore that down. They built a whole big McBride neighborhood behind it, and then they built this Deerbergs up directly across the street from a Schnucks, which I think is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, Deerbergs and Schnucks, they're two separate companies.
And they're
They're both like
grocers.
local grocery stores that are all over St. Louis. So Schnucks is one, Deerbergs is the other. So there was a Schnucks literally right across the street, and then they decided to build this giant brand new Deerbergs across the street from
This
that
giant
one.
fuck you.
Yeah, it's basically like a giant fuck you. And now I know that Schnucks like went in and like revamped like in preparation for it. Like we're not getting beat out here by the new nice one.
Well,
But
do you know what that is reminding me of? It's almost like a new town. Like they're doing up like a new town style.
Yeah, the style of the house is so weird. They're like flat roof.
Yeah,
like,
and they've got the townhouse, like the townhouses that are mixed in with your single family homes, and
right, they don't
like
look.
the
It's a weird
row homes.
It's not what I was expecting.
No,
I was
not at all.
expecting them to build like kind of. I mean, it's Crestwood. It's a very nice area. It's Lindbergh School District, one of the school districts that's like super desirable here in St. Louis, and that was not what I was expecting when I was, and especially for the price of those homes. They're not like they're starting out, pretty high for what I think you're getting. And but I mean, it is because you're paying for that location because it's it's prime real estate.
And then, let's be honest too, the builder that's building it.
Yeah.
Just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there. We're not gonna touch that one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we've got a closing with them later, so
Yeah.
let's not talk too much shit. I want to get paid first.
It's not too late. They can still cut your ass out of it.
I'm sure they'll try to figure out a way. They'll figure out a way to cut my ass out of the deal.
Yeah.
All right.
What we got here? 39 North. What is it? Is this
anything
this is in
about this
Creve
one?
Coeur.
Oh,
So this 600-acre ag tech innovation district is taking shape after years of discussion and 7 regional organizations coming together to create the district. The idea behind the 600-acre campus is to foster a regional hub for ag tech talent. That's a tongue twister. With a mix of residential, office, retail, and outdoor space. So it's called 39 North. So picture looks pretty sweet.
yeah. I don't know where that's. Is that like up by City Place and all that?
I don't know where you can find 600 acres
In Creve Coeur.
in Creve Coeur.
That's a lot of fucking
That's
space.
a lot of land.
I don't
like,
know where they're doing that.
Unless it's like what is it? Scott Gallagher Soccer Park that's out there. Is that what that is, or what?
Yeah.
Or is that Loof? There's that big soccer park out there. You've got there's like that like a little tiny airport I think in there.
Right.
Like all that like north of.
I wonder if this is like
north of 364.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Yeah. Is that still Creve Coeur?
Oh, I think that would be more Malin Heights.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where 600 acres are, but damn, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
St. Charles.
Yeah, they've been doing that whole thing with where like casinos and all of that stuff is with I don't know what they call it now. Where narwhals, like basically it's like it's like across the highway from where Old Town St. Charles is.
Yeah, well, it's on the other side of it from the casino.
Yep.
Hollywood.
Yep.
Is that Hollywood?
Mhm.
Right?
No, Ameristar.
Maristar. Fuck, I always get them mixed
Yeah.
up. But yeah, they got that whole what they call that area where they have all those restaurants and
Mhm.
stuff. And
Yeah,
so it
it's
looks like
got
they're
a
just
name.
continuing to build
Yeah,
onto that.
blow that up.
And that new chicken and pickle place opened up. I definitely want to go check that out. Saw some people there the other day on my stories. It looks sweet.
The ambitious. So 120 acres. Again, where the fuck are they coming up with all this land?
I don't know.
But reimagines the riverfront with office buildings, 500 apartments, 150 hotel units, 100,000 square feet of riverfront restaurants and retail.
Damn.
Likely incorporating rooftop patios. One thing, there's some good rooftop patios here in St. Louis.
There are
Gardens to take advantage of the lake. I mean, I guess really, if
it's
we
a pretty
wanted
view
to-
there. I mean, it is.
What's
You're looking at,
the-
'cause that's the Missouri River there, right?
Yeah. What's the trail that runs through there? That runs all the way across the state.
Fuck, I know what you're talking
Lewis
about.
and Clark, or no? Fuck is that trail?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of
Creek
it.
War?
No, there's like a
in
big
St.
ass trail
Charles.
that like runs across everywhere.
Yeah. Katy Trail.
Katy Trail.
Katy
That's
Trail.
it. Okay. Anyway.
So
Yeah, but that'll be sick.
Yep.
I definitely want to go check out. We got to go check out that chicken and pickle place.
yeah.
Looks fun. All right, last one. Downtown Chesterfield. They've been really revamping that over the last,
That whole area has been constantly being worked on because from the time I was real young, because they had Chesterfield Ice Rink and that where Top Golf is now. And through those years they built up, what is that down there now? They call that the
outlets.
They got the outlets.
Outlet malls.
Yeah. The Valley. Chesterfield
Valley.
The Valley is what they called it. And
That's
they put
the
in
whole
all-
area. I would
all that
consider that the whole area on the other side of the
yeah,
highway.
Yeah. And this in our corporate office, our Midwest corporate office
Oh yeah.
is right
Big
there.
Guild Mortgage Champs right there.
We got that wedge building and like right behind it, they just built the factory and they took those outlets and they're turning it. And I think this is part of it. And then one thing that's cool too, on the other side, up Airport Road, on the other side
On the
of
other
where,
side of the highway?
So as you shoot up that way, they're building like a big sound production stage over there where people can like you're seeing recording artists will come in and practice and house stuff for their big tours,
Sweet.
like a big sound state, like studio.
Cool.
It's all being built over there. I just found that out a couple weeks ago, but they got Maryville Ice Rink that's over there. And then you got the other outlets a little further up, but yeah, they've got the apartments that they're building up. They've got the new subdivisions and all that's going in over there. I mean, there's a lot
The
of
new Four Hands thing just went in.
yeah,
The
that's
hub,
over
I
the
think that's
hub.
what they called it.
Yeah, over there by which is the old outlets that are right there by Top Golf.
Right. So they close that down now.
So they're turning it into.
What's weird?
It was all
so weird
retail.
to me that they built two outlet malls in Chesterfield, like at the same time, like a mile away from each other.
The hub now, that was the first one.
Right.
And then the other one, which is further up, they built that one next. But I don't know. That was all retail. Now it's all going to be service oriented places.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I don't know, basically like another ballpark village, but in
Go there, hang out,
in
eat,
Chesterfield.
do whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, and they got that main event place, I think, which is owned by Chris Pronger,
Right.
former blues player,
Saw that.
which is pretty cool.
It's
It's
like a
great.
music venue.
No, it's like a more high scale arcade place for kids.
Okay. I haven't even.
So they've
gone
got
there.
like an arcade place in there. They've got a really big area for that's a sports bar, and then they've got bowling in the back. They
Shit.
got
Okay.
House
See,
of-
I thought it. I was like, it's weird that they're putting another venue right next to the factory because the factory's. I mean, that's a cool place to go see.
That's
a show.
really cool.
Like super intimate. I mean, we're gonna be going there
Yeah.
in a little bit to go
Yeah.
see our last night.
Yeah.
Pumped.
And
Hell
so
yeah.
that'll be fun. I'm excited for that one.
Too.
But yeah, no, that whole area has been being worked on for years.
Yeah.
So, but sounds
Cool
like
yeah, it's dude.
St. Louis
Lots
has
of cool shit going on. In St.
Yeah,
Louis,
St. Louis
guys.
is going to be popping over the next few
Yeah,
years.
man.
It's exciting to see.
Buy the real estate now before it gets too
Exactly.
expensive. You know.
Exactly.
And if there's anything we can do to help you, let us know.
Call us.
But anyway, I think that's a good spot for us to wrap up today, guys. The good episode.
Absolutely.
Remember, follow us on Instagram at Zach_Vegas and STL_MortgageNerd. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend if you guys got something out of the episode. We'll see you next time.